I ride my bicycle, I like to play with toys.
Boom, 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 boom.
I ride my bicycle, I like to play with toys.
Boom, boom, boom,
I ride
boom.
my bicycle, I like to play with toys.
Boom, 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 boom.
I ride my bicycle, I like to play with toys.
So I bought this at a secret auction,
Right.
and this is the first toy ever.
Okay.
I don't mean it's the first toy ever for a particular toy company or a particular line of toys. No. I mean the first toy ever in existence. So that should give you an idea of how valuable this thing is.
Okay.
Okay, so as you heard at the from the excerpt at the start of the video, I was talking to a top toy dealer who shall remain nameless, but one of the premier toy dealers in the not just in the U.S. of A. but in the world. Now, if you're wondering if whether or not he purchased what I have to offer or not, or if he was interested or not, I should remain confidential, but I'll just say this. I'll just be honest. No, I think he was lowballing me, and I expect that to happen at first. I expect a lot of collectors and auction houses and people interested in antiques and historians. I expect them to start out by lowballing me, you know. I don't hold it against them. That's part of the game. You start off with a very low offer, and when you realize that the person who has the item is aware of the historical significance of the item, and understands the worth and the value of the item, then you start to see the offers go up, and they start to sort of resemble what the item is actually really worth. So I stated at the beginning, as you've heard when I was speaking to the toy dealer, I got very lucky. I was part of a private auction at somebody's that took place in the back of somebody's garage, and they were auctioning off items. And in this box, what we're going to see is the first toy. Again, it's not the first toy from Mattel, that's not the first toy from Hasbro. The first toy in the history of humanity, civilization, society, you name it. It's contained in this box. So this is a review that I imagine will probably get the most views out of all my toy reviews, because people are going to want to see this. Not just people who like toys and action figures, but people who are interested in the history of humanity are going to want to see this. And you can see this very ancient looking box that it comes in. So I'm going to place this down, and if you notice, my tone is a little less jovial. I do have goosebumps, my hair is standing up. I'm not as maybe energetic as usually. I'm a little more reverent, because I get reverent in the face of sort of an object of such importance. I'm going to place it down, and we're going to review it just like we would any other toy, but just keep in mind that when we're talking about articulation, points of articulation, we talk about dexterity and playability, etc. This is the prototype of everything that was to come. So without this, there would be no Virgil action figure, there would be no Louis Tully, there would be no Power Rangers or Ninja Turtles. So this is the key to it all. Let's put it down and review it. Okay, so let's open it up. Okay, wow, so almost looks, I would even say it almost looks biblical, just lying here. We're going to take it now out of the case. so that we can review it. Okay, so this is definitely interesting to see sort of the evolution that it all started with this. This is the prototype, this is the original, this is the first toy. So if you ever had a toy as a child, a doll, a Barbie, a teddy bear, an action figure, a G.I. Joe, you can thank this right here. And I'll give you a moment to actually say thank you to the screen and to this first toy. First thing you'll notice, it's a very bright red color. I complain sometimes about colors that are too dark and drab, and this is very bright and red. It stands out. Sort of a clay. I feel like maybe it was made out of, you know, the silt from the riverbank of maybe the Euphrates or the Tigris. We don't know, but ancient material. That's why I probably should put gloves on to handle it. I'm wondering, well, why should I was going to go put on some gloves right now, but I guess it's too late. I've already contaminated the toy. Maybe I'll edit this part out so that if there are collectors or eccentric billionaires watching, they will still think that, you know, my prints aren't on it. Any case, I'll turn it around for you slowly. Here's the back. Bit of a flat ass. I don't think he probably doesn't do a lot of lunges or crunches. But back then people were less concerned about their appearance. They were just trying to stay alive, running away from animals in the jungle, animals in the forest, animals in the desert, asps, lions, all sorts of saber-tooth tigers, mammoths, all sorts of articulation, unlimited, because this is the type of, again, you'll notice this toy is maybe a little different from a lot of the action figures that we see today. Most action figures today, like this Batman, they don't have unlimited articulation. You know, this guy's arm could, if I wanted to, it could go full rotation, bend all over the place. I'm not going to. I want it to keep its form. You'll see here it does have a head, arms, legs, legs. So it does have human form, just like the figures of today, but it's a lot more flexible. You know, it has a lot more movability, and this I would say this has more in common. There are still some toys today made in the pattern of the first toy. For instance, Rubber Batman. Unlike this one that has joints, this one complete posability, just like the first toy. So toys are still being made in the vein of the first toy, here and there. Rubber Batman is such an instance. Overall, how would I rate it? Its playability. Its playability is not very high because you'll see no real facial features, no real mouth. So how can it talk? Like, hello, how are you? You know, it can't talk. It has no mouth, or maybe that's a mouth. I can't really tell what they were going for. It's possible at one point it had a mouth, and throughout, you know, the time, you know, the mouth wore away. When you have an artifact that is this old, a number of things could have affected it throughout time. Now you will notice that this Batman figure that is made today, it resembles our human form with the head, arms, you know, this is the human form. This is based on the model of a human being today, our shape, our size, you'll notice that the first toy is sort of drastically different. Our bodies do not resemble this. And so really I think what we have here is that we're uncovering, truths about humanity. If this is what they made their toy look like, then the humans at the time, some of the first humans probably looked radically different than we do now. So I took a look at this toy and I sort of made an artist's interpretation of what possibly the humans at that time looked at. And so let's take a look at, now you'll see here, we'll place this in here. And what you'll see is, and I'll try to zoom in nice and close here. That's a good shot. You'll see the head size of the ancient humans probably were a lot bigger than ours today. You'll see they match. Our arms were a little different, bent at the edge here. Feet, much bigger feet. So the humans of long ago looked radically different than the humans of today. And that's science. So that's part of the mystery. That's what toys can do. They can illuminate history, illuminate the mysteries of history. What did ancient humans look like? Well, let's study the toys they made, and then we can have an idea about their bodies and what their bodies were shaped like. And this is the perfect example of uncovering the mysteries of humanity thanks to toys. Overall rating, yes, lack of facial features, no clothes, or perhaps it's wearing a clothes. There's no way to tell because time has perhaps worn away a lot of the details, or perhaps it was just not made to be a very detailed toy. But I would definitely say we can't really rate this on the same scale we would rate some of the other figures because it's the first. So we have reverence for it. So we're not going to give it a rating of a number rating. We're just going to give it an overall rating of a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And being that it is the first toy ever, and that it caused all the rest of toys throughout history, and that it has such significance, a thumbs up for this first toy ever. Contact me. First of all, to the regular viewers, of course, sign up for alerts, subscribe, sign up for alerts and comment and subscribe. For collectors, like I said, eccentric billionaires, contact me with a reasonable offer. Don't lowball me. I'll know. And, if again, I am a collector, but I do need to pay the rent. My dad said he's not going to take care of me forever, so eventually I am going to have to start paying the bills myself. And electric, I have these Christmas lights on. I keep them on pretty much 24/7, and the electric bill goes way up. So I do need to pay the electric bill, the rent, all of that. So if you are a historian, a collector, an archaeologist, a museum, even if you're a museum, of course if you're a museum, I would be interested in talking, money. Again, I would love to keep it in my collection. It would look great, there with the turtles on the end. But Papa's got to make some dough. So email me with the price and we'll talk. I hope you enjoyed the review. Very informative and a great look to the past.
I ride my bicycle, I like to play with toys.
Bum, 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 bum.
I ride my bicycle, I like to play with toys.
Bum, bum, bum.
I ride my bicycle, I like to play with toys.
Bum, 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 bum.
I ride my bicycle, I like to play with toys.